the 55th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the first week of August 2011, otherwise known as Dreamforce Week month. This episode is titled Streaming Wars, Round 2. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me, my co-host, who's giving me the evil eye here in the podcasting studio here at 1501 Broadway, is my co-host, co-founder, and longtime bud, Justin Elstein. Justin, how you doing?
Good. Do we have a name for this studio?
The podcasting studio?
Yeah.
We do not.
We need to name it. Naming contest.
Seems like a naming contest. Name the podcast studio. So, we have some stuff other than that on the agenda. We have our first hardware review on the blog. Almost on its 1-year anniversary. We have the first hardware review on the blog. We'll talk about that. We have some Apple news, actually 2 pieces of Apple news, both in the cloud genre, as it were. And then, of course, because we're kicking it up, getting closer and closer, I think 3 weeks away from Dreamforce 11, we have Dreamforce 11 news, which we will cover, including the official rules to the Arkus t-shirt contest.
Ooh.
Reduxed.
Ooh.
All right?
Pay attention.
Pay attention. The rules will be announced in this podcast. Nothing more.
Nothing less.
Nothing less than that. And then we'll finish off with our CloudFocus app Pick of the Week, where we will see who has actually used their pick and who hasn't. All right. So first up on the agenda is the blog post. Much talked about. In fact, we basically talked about it last week in terms of what was going to happen. But the newest blog post on blog.arkusinc.com is entitled Google Chromebook Review Caveat Emptor. Emptor?
I don't know. I don't even get the title.
It means go at your own risk.
Oh.
We could ask the blogger, but he's nowhere to be seen. Use at your own risk, something like that. Anyway, it's interesting because we talked about the Chromebook. This is his official review from Roger, the newest of the bloggers on the Arkus blog. And I think at the end, I don't know, what would you add to this blog post as opposed to?
I said it all last week on the podcast. I mean, it seems like Roger doesn't. He went in thinking that it was going to be all fun and games, and came out saying, "Oh, I might not be able to use this thing to do my work." I mean, we challenged Roger the day after he came in with the Chromebook, and was like, "Hey, check this out."
To do a day's worth of work.
His work on the Chromebook.
Now, let's just say his work isn't. He's not an accountant. He's not a sales guy. He's not a whatever. His work is Salesforce consulting. It's what we all do.
Salesforce consulting, configuration, project management,
data loading, getting on meetings. And
by about 9:45 a.m., he trashed the Chromebook for his MacBook.
I challenged him as he left the day before and said, "Don't bring in the MacBook and just see, because then you can really see if you can use it or not use it."
I mean, as soon as he even lists out a bunch of the cons in his blog post: WebEx, offline usage, printing, just some basic things that you need to be able to do.
Yeah, and I think this is when we get to the analogy of using of throwing the Chromebook up against it. He actually comes to the conclusion that it's all there in the what are they called, the web browser, net browsers, netbooks, which I don't even know if anybody makes any netbooks. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I'm not. I don't think they're as big a deal anymore. I think tablets take over all these cases, other than a keyboard, which all tablets now you can grab a keyboard for. My Bluetooth keyboard will work with my tablet. Like, it all sort of, like, he talks, you can't get on WebEx. Or GoToMeeting. You can do both of those on an iPad. I couldn't do, there are things like data loading. Granted, can't do that on an iPad. But, I feel like in this point, when we were comparing them in part of our argument, he even mentions it in the blog post, part of the challenge, we started comparing both netbooks, MacBook Airs, and iPads to the Chromebook. And I don't think it fits or does anything better than any of those 3 things. Is it cost less than a MacBook Air? Sure, but it can do 1/10 of what that thing can do. Is the same cost as an iPad, but it can't even do that stuff, and it can't run half the apps. I mean, there are 500,000 apps for the iPad. I think maybe in the Google Chromebook area, what do they call it, the Chrome store, Chromium, there's apps, but it's not like I can switch from going on a WebEx to going to email to then going and playing an incredible racing game like Hot Pursuit, which is not my pick of the week this week. We should make a gaming section where I just get on and talk about games that I like.
And games I like.
Nah.
I play games.
You play one game, which
I
is
do not play one game.
Flick insert game title here. So it's Flick baseball, Flick
football,
Flick football,
and Flick soccer are awesome. I also play Monopoly on my iPad. I play NBA Jam on my iPad. I play Yahtzee on my iPad, and I play Scrabble very poorly on my iPad.
So basically, board games from the 1985 called.
That's right.
And they want their games back.
They're reinvented and they're awesome. I love playing Monopoly on the hard level against three computer AIs.
Wow. That's the geekiest thing you've ever said in your life.
I just love it. It's so much fun. I sit there on my couch.
I like to play against
Monopoly
against three computers.
Yeah, it's fun. Back to this blog post, because I see it in your face. You're about to ridicule me.
I'll leave that for later.
He did come up with some good use cases or recommendations as to when the Chromebook might be a choice that you would make.
Yep.
As it is inexpensive. His use case in particular is when he's going on vacation, or when he's going to places like the beach or the pool or picnic, places where you might not bring. I don't know why you'd bring a laptop to the beach. I wouldn't, but
to the pool.
Hey, to each his own.
Yep.
And if he was going away for a weekend, he also said if he had children, he's a little young to have a child. He would have that as a starter laptop for a child. It's not a bad idea. And the bottom line, though, not recommended for clients or people who do real work at this point.
It's not ready for prime time, and it's not because of the hardware. I think everybody should understand that. It's not the hardware that's limiting this.
Yeah.
And this is what's interesting about this, because the hardware is not a little bad machine. It's the software. The software,
meaning the lack of software.
It's the lack of software.
It is the fact that it is just a web browser, and this is, for us to say it is, we speak the truth on this one.
Yeah.
It's
the cloud is not ready to be your operating system.
No.
Not ready. So, let's move. No? It's not.
The operating system that sits on your desktop, no.
Those are the operating systems that I generally talk about, the ones that sit on your desktop.
You could have... All right. Let's move on.
Okay. So we got... Next story is... really comes out, because we've talked about this a little bit. It's something that's coming in the future, which is iCloud. It's got to make CloudFocus Weekly because it has cloud right there in the name. But it's Apple's invention or reinvention of Mobile Me and their idea, their take on cloud. I'm not going to call it cloud syncing. I'm going to call it cloud usage. So Google's take is all the cloud belong to us. You use a Chromebook, you log in. You use an Android, you log in. And we're going to keep everything centralized in the cloud, and then you can use things down on your devices. We'll stream it to you, maybe let you have some of them, but basically it's all in the cloud. Apple's take is we're going to use the cloud as more of a backbone, right? That you're still going to have everything locally, but it's all going to sync and coming back and forth across the cloud. So if you make a change, it'll go across. If you buy something, it'll go to all your devices. But it all happened from the cloud, but you're really not going to use things as much in the cloud, meaning you're not going to go to the internet to use it. It's going to become the backdrop of your device. I think it's actually two incredibly different and cool takes on cloud computing. I don't actually think that Apple's is as it is, in some ways it's cloud computing, but as we talked about before, it's really device dependent. It's really iOS dependent and version dependent on the iOS, which is not what cloud computing generally is, being more sort of agnostic to browsers. But anyway, they opened up the iCloud to developers and said, hey, start working on it. And they showed off, or I guess didn't show off, but allowed for people to see, the things that some of us are worried about. Is there going to be a version of Mail, Calendar, and Find My iPhone and other things that you're going to be able to use in the browser. And they showed it, and they look unbelievable. They look amazingly like the apps on your desktop. I mean, to a T. And they function just like them. So in some ways,
hopefully they'll be fast.
Yeah, I mean, Mobile Me was never fast.
Has a nice interface. It looks just like Apple Mail, but it's slow.
Yeah, it is slow.
It's real slow.
I think it's slow because it's loading so much JavaScript,
super
whatever.
Slow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think an interesting take, and to build upon that, because it's kind of two pieces of news in one, is really the double thing of what's happening with the Netflix world. So it's been kind of, Netflix has redone their pricing structure. They've now split out...
Really?
Put out DVDs and streaming.
Oh, they've done that for a while.
Yeah, but now
because I've had the streaming only for a couple months.
But now they're separate. You used to have streaming and disc together as one price. Now it's streaming is one price, discs are a separate price, and the only way to get them both is to connect them. They basically upped their price.
Yeah, they did, because I know. I mean, I only get the streaming, but my girlfriend gets streaming. And she gets the DVDs.
Her price is going to go from $8.99 a month to $14.95 a month.
She's not going to be happy with that.
She's probably going to cancel. She'll probably if I were her, I'd cancel the.
She'll cancel the streaming, I think.
And then because you have the streaming, but so there's kind of like a little bit of war going on between the streaming providers of video, which are Hulu.
Yep.
And Netflix are the two big ones, and then Apple, which hasn't really been in the streaming game, right? They've been like, you want to buy stuff from our cloud services? Great, you buy it, you download it. But there's two things. One's a rumor, and one's actually happened. They put out an update. This is kind of interesting because it's showing where things are going. They put an update to the Apple TV OS, so on the new Apple TV.
This is out?
This is out.
Right now?
Right now. Downloaded, been doing it for 3 days now.
Oh.
And basically, the update allows you to do two things. One, you can go to Vimeo, which is a YouTube...
Whatever. I've never gone to YouTube on my Apple TV.
But you could. And now you can go to Vimeo. That's not so interesting. The interesting piece is now, if you go to the TV section of your Apple TV, all your TV shows that you've ever bought on iTunes are available for you to stream.
That is so awesome.
To stream and watch now.
You know why that's so awesome? Because last night we were catching up on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because the new season is starting soon, and I've purchased seasons 1 through 5 off of iTunes, and I had to go to my computer, turn it on, make sure my Drobo was plugged in, turn on iTunes so I can watch it on my TV. And I won't have to do that anymore.
No, they're all there.
Awesome.
And they work flawlessly. They work great. They come down in HD. So whatever quality you bought them in is the quality you can watch them in. If you bought them in HD, you get to do HD SD.
I'm excited for this.
I'm surprised you didn't know.
So let me ask you this question.
So now you're interviewing me.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
If I were to go to your house.
My house, yes.
Where you have an Apple TV.
I do have an Apple TV.
And I logged you off and logged me in.
I think they would all be there.
My stuff.
I can't imagine why not. The worst case is to have to unplug it or something or reset it. But I think if you just logged me off and logged in as you, I think they would all show up.
That's super cool. So my girlfriend has one as well, but all the stuff is basically what I do is I travel around with it on my iPad so I can AirPlay it over to her.
Super cool.
Which is great. AirPlay is awesome because, you have it playing on the iPad. You say, you hit one button, you say, go to the Apple TV, and it just starts playing on the Apple TV. You have to let it download a little bit or upload or do whatever, transfer a little bit. Yeah. And then otherwise it stops in the middle.
It's basically streaming, right? Streaming from your iPad to your
wow, if I could just log her out and log me in and then get all my stuff, wow, that's great.
Yeah, and I know you're a big purchaser of iTunes
I am a big purchaser. I do quite enjoy buying stuff from iTunes.
So where this starts this starts off, so it's sort of like they didn't make a big splash. They didn't make a press announcement.
No, I didn't even know about it.
But this is pretty big.
Surprised my Apple TV yesterday when I turned it on didn't say, hey, Justin,
it doesn't.
Upgrade me.
It says it if you go under settings, it'll say it. But anyway.
I wish it would have.
So now 2 rumors have arrived.
Uh-oh.
That follow this. One is that Apple has negotiated contracts with every movie theater or every movie producer, movie house, and is going to allow for the same thing to happen for every movie you've ever purchased. The second is that they're basically going to build a Netflix killer or Netflix competitor, and they have the licensing ready to do it, and they are going to they're basically put out a subscription plan. And those are two separate things. I want to be clear, everybody listening to podcasts. One is to say, if you've ever bought a movie, and I've bought 20, 30 movies.
I don't buy as many movies. I buy TV shows.
I have a kid watches movies over and over again, so Megamind or, Wall-E or something. So they watch movies 5 or 6 times.
Don't lie, those are yours.
Those are mine. Tangled. I actually like Tangled. Anyway, so I'll buy them because it's my first viewing of them because I don't get to go to the theater to watch them. And then they watch them 3 or 4 times, then I get to throw them on an iPad for a car trip, and she gets to watch them on the car trip. All works out for me. So I buy them from iTunes. So now you'll be able to stream. That's streaming. That's just streaming sort of the stuff you've already bought.
That's the iCloud.
That's part of the iCloud.
Yes.
But so whether I think they need the licensing to do that. If they announce it, that's great. That pushes me further and further into I'm only going to buy stuff from iTunes because now I've got this another advantage. The first advantage is it comes down. It's great. I don't have to bit turn. I don't have to rip. I don't have to be illegal. I click it. I get it. That's great. I can put it on devices that are offline, like iPads, like iPods, right, and iPod and iPhones.
Not really. Well, you have to plug in to do those.
Well, no. In coming in iOS 5, I'll be able to stream them across, so they'll automatically stream across from my iTunes. So can do that. I can also be sitting in my house and get my entire collection and stream it to a device. But now I'll be able to just turn on my Apple TV wherever it is, bring it with me if I want, and I got everything I've ever bought available for me to restream. So pretty cool. But the rumor is that they're gonna build a Netflix competitor. Because think about it.
Does that mean that Netflix comes off of my Apple TV?
I don't know. I don't know if that would be. They probably have an agreement with Netflix that would probably keep them up.
I kind of like that. That's the only reason why I have it.
But if you could pay $7.99 a month, or $8.99 a month, or $9.99 a month, and you could stream anything in the iTunes store,
I'd rather have that because Netflix doesn't give you everything.
Right. It doesn't, and also
Apple gives you. They have. I don't know if their library is as expansive in total, but if they said everything's available, then I'd rather have their streaming library or I'd rather have them do that and then push Netflix to have to do the same.
Right.
Because Netflix has everything.
Well,
they just
don't
have it streaming.
They don't have it converted to streaming. I don't know how they. Whether it's an agreement thing.
Kind of annoys me. Like, I want to watch stuff that's more new. Like you get through all the streaming stuff that you want to watch, and then there's nothing else.
Right. Well, new stuff comes, and they have TV shows.
Rare. The TV shows come like a year later.
Yeah, when they come in after they come out on DVD, which is terrible. Usually in if you watch Showtime and HBO, which generally put out these shows you want to get on DVD, they come out about the time of the next season starting. So if like one of our favorites thing, or Weeds, let's say, so Weeds just started their new season.
6 episodes in.
The CDs, the DVDs for last episode came out probably 4 weeks ago. So anyway, I think it's interesting because there's been rumors of Apple buying Hulu. I want Apple to be in this arena because I think it adds a little competitiveness to Netflix and Hulu, which I think are kind of running away with it right now. Netflix has changed their pricing scheme twice and raised the price twice in 6 months. Hulu, while a great service, is pretty pricey when you just want to use it on your iPad. You have to pay for it, and they throw in tons of commercials anyway. So it's like, well, now I'm paying for it, and I got commercials. So I think the streaming wars are really heating up, and I'm excited to see how Apple's their take on it and bring others. Let's see who else has got a take on it or competitive bid on these streaming wars. All right, for the most important part of our podcast, for all you who don't use Salesforce.com and aren't going to Dreamforce,
tune out now,
because we're going to talk about Dreamforce 11.
Let's do it.
So what do we got in the news? Go give me some news for the.
Well, the app has been updated since we last talked.
So the online portal app,
or the Dreamforce app,
or the app that I download to my iPhone.
No, the online. Go to the website dreamforce.com, hit the login button, and log in. The app has been updated with some new tabs you may have noticed. The campground tab has been added. The developer zone tab has been added, and most importantly, obviously, the and of course now I slip on the Expo tab has been added,
which is what?
The Cloud Expo tab, which are all of the exhibitors and the sponsors, which Arkus is one of. So you can go to the Cloud Expo tab, you could find Arkus, or you could just type Arkus into the search box. Find our exhibitor booth number 30, and you can follow it, and you can have a little conversation with us there.
Yeah,
how many followers do we have? I'm actually in the portal right now. We have 13 followers on the Arkus exhibitor list here. I can actually shout some of them out. Andrew Callio, Chris Clough, David Liu, Jane Isaac, a bunch of us.
Zach?
Zachary Jeans or Jeans. I'm not sure how to pronounce him, but I'm certain I will meet him in person. Patricia Orr, Matthew Lamb, bunch of people.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's a new take. It's not a new take because I think I did this last year. But my goal is for us, because we are a pretty social company here, my goal is for us to have the most followers of any other thing. So help us get to that goal. So the best way to find us is log in and then just type Arkus in the search.
Type Arkus into the search box and you'll find it. You'll find the t-shirt contest group, which we'll talk about in a minute. And you might find some other things. I'm not sure. Let's see. What do you find when you type?
Probably find us.
You might find us. You'll probably find some files like our governance white papers.
Yep.
You find 2 Cloud Expo records. One's called Arkus. One's called Arkus-Delete. Not sure what that's about. Let's see. What is that one about? This looks like it might be an old one. So
delete that one.
Delete that one.
All
Not
right.
us. Someone else. And you'll find us. Yeah, you find us, the group, some files, whatnot. So the 2 other new tabs, which are kind of cool for both administrators as well as developers, the Salesforce Campground. I think this one's probably more focused on an administrator, but you can sign up for success clinics, a one-on-one success clinic with a Salesforce expert to just talk about any questions that you might have, go over process, what have you. You can also you can add a cloud demo station to get hands-on experience from Salesforce experts. So you can add that to your calendar or your agenda.
Nice.
And you can sort of just select which ones you want. Like, I want to look at the Service Cloud. I want to look at Radian 6. I want to see Heroku. And you can add them to your calendar. And then when you hop over to the developer zone, they have 2 things that they're offering this year. One's a code consultation. So you can meet one-on-one privately with somebody and go through some technical help or some technical assistance in architecting your application.
Nice.
And one thing that I actually would like to do is they have a developer skills assessment. So you'll get an individual one-on-one skills assessment to receive feedback on how you can, what you might want to enhance or where you might want to start and focus on taking the next step and the next level in learning how to develop on the Force.com platform.
Great.
So it's pretty neat, pretty cool stuff.
Lots of new stuff. As always, Dreamforce is always new stuff. They're expecting a lot more people this year. They've broken it down to multiple areas, which we'll see how that works. It's going to be the expo is basically broken up into 3, I think. They broke off nonprofit and they broke off financial services into 2 different places.
And the big room.
And then the big room, which will be in the big room. Again, booth 30, hard to forget.
3-0.
We will be there.
Yeah, we will.
We will be there probably individually most of the time. We're not going to double up. We have other things to do, but one of us will be there.
We'll double up at some point.
At some point we'll double up. Maybe we'll put it on the podcast. But so let's talk about the most important part.
Let's do it.
If you need to know where we are, there's only one reason you need to know where we are. Where we are is where to collect your
Safe Harbor t-shirt.
Safe Harbor t-shirt.
So, again, if you're in the Dreamforce portal and you use the search and you search for Arkus, you will find the Arkus t-shirt contest group. You could also click on the groups tab and just start typing Arkus and it'll show up.
What are the rules this year?
The rules are posted in the group. That's why I was
over
mentioning how you find the group. So, again, this is a Safe Harbor t-shirt. A t-shirt that has the Safe Harbor statement on the back, or at least a lorem ipsum version of it.
Yes, a mock-up not to be sued by anybody version
That's right,
of it.
with some Easter eggs in it.
Yep.
And it's kind of cool. We did it last year. A lot of people liked the shirt, so we're doing it again.
I wore mine this morning.
And here's how you get one. It's 4 easy steps. Number 1, find and join the Arkus t-shirt group on the Dreamforce portal.
You will need to be a part of this group.
You got to join it.
So that means for all you who are not part of the portal, you're not going to get a t-shirt.
No.
Okay.
Number 2, follow at Arkus Inc. on Twitter or like Arkus Inc. on Facebook.
Right.
We'd like you to do both.
We split it out this year because some people complained last year. We actually made it both last year. We split it out this year because some people complained and said, I don't really use Facebook for that type of purpose. I use it more for really friends, and I don't really want to see your stuff show up.
But you could definitely follow www.twitter.com/Arkus Inc.
Yes, that's true.
And number 3, tweet or post hashtag Safe Harbor T-shirt, which is listed all over the place on the T-shirt group on Twitter or on the Dreamforce portal. We'd love if you did it in both.
So I guess that's the thing is that, again, if you're not a Twitterer, so I guess I'm going to change the rules up right now.
Don't do that.
I'm going to add one more thing.
Why?
No, I'm not adding.
One more thing.
I'm saying that if you're not a Facebooker and not a tweeter, meaning if you don't have a Twitter account, don't have a Facebook account, if you follow the Arkus under the
if you don't have one of those two things, I'm not giving you a t-shirt.
All right, well, I will.
I just made that executive decision.
Find me. I'll give you a t-shirt.
And number 4, you have to keep listening to this podcast.
Yes.
Not today, in the future.
This is episode 55. We have probably how many more episodes?
2 or 3 left.
We have 3 more episodes.
We'll start with the secret password on the next, maybe the next one, maybe the one after that.
We're not going to tell you. The whole point is that we have to...
We don't know when. Good one. And essentially, you'll come over to the booth and you'll say the secret password to whoever's standing there. It'll probably be Roger, who wrote the Google Chromebook
or be
review, or one of us, or the other partner that shall remain nameless. Yep. And you will tell them the secret password. They'll make sure you did all the stuff that you're supposed to do, and they'll hand you a t-shirt.
It will have a list prepared.
And you'll have a good workout t-shirt.
First come, first serve.
That's right.
Sizes and things may vary. Not legal in any states. See your lawyer for all.
FDIC insured.
FDIC insured. Offer not valid anywhere. So yes,
we need the Micro Machines guy.
We have been. We will have.
Remember
t-shirts,
the Micro Machines guy?
But we could run out, and if we run out,
awesome.
We're sorry, but we're gonna try. So it is gonna be first come, first serve. So don't expect to show up on the last day and get your T-shirt. But anyway, so that's it. We appreciate. We love the contest and hope to see
48 members in the group already.
So there you go. So that's
join that group.
Yeah. So that's that's using up some T-shirts there. All right. Let's get to our CloudFocus app pick of the week.
Let's do it.
Rolls right off the tongue.
All right.
So why don't you go first?
All right. I'm going to throw the caveat out there.
All right.
I have not used this product.
Let me catch that caveat.
Catch it.
Got it.
I have not used this product. So that's the first thing. But it looks like something that most Salesforce administrators or business analysts or anyone who uses Salesforce quite a bit to run their company or analytics would really love. And it's called exception reporting.
Sounds
awesome. Exception reporting by Versatile Capitalists, Inc. Okay, so what this app promises to allow you to do, and again, I haven't tried it, looks like it does it through a Visualforce page by looking at the screenshots, is to use, exception logic in your reporting. So show me leads without an activity, or show me accounts without an activity, show me accounts without opportunities, right? So show me the without, show me the things that, show me opportunities without products, because that's what I want to see, right? I don't, the exception reporting is always the big deal with within Salesforce, and people are always asking, like, I want to see accounts that don't have activities because I want to know the ones that are being neglected, or I want to see, right, accounts and contacts without opportunities because I want to know, why is this an account, why is this not a lead, or something along those lines.
Huge thing on the Idea Exchange.
So if you go to the App Exchange and type in exception reporting, or just go to the new tab because it's rather new, it just came out a couple days ago or within the last week, you can check out the screenshots, you can do a test drive. It's paid. There's a free trial, including setup support. I don't know what that means. It's discounted for nonprofits and NGOs, and there's an email for you to send questions to if you have any questions So that's my pick of the week. Again, haven't tried it. I'll probably try it in the next week or two and may report back with some findings.
You will report back on your pick of the week from a couple weeks before.
Yeah, why not?
All right, well,
Your app looks cool. You're piggybacking off of my Puffin pick from a couple weeks ago.
In fact, when this came out, I thought it was your pick, and I downloaded it. I thought, oh, this is the pick that he picked a couple weeks ago. Let me try it, and then I looked at it. So wait, I think I couldn't remember the name of it, so I actually looked it up today to see. I went to blog.arkusinc.com, looked up our old podcast, and said, "Oh, this is different." So I actually downloaded it. This is a iPad app. It is originally called iChromie, but then 4 days ago they changed the name to Diego, whatever.
Someone caught wind of that Chrome usage.
Yeah, and someone contacted them pretty quickly. It's Diigo. And it is a browser.
It looks like a browser. Isn't it interesting that these browsers are popping up for the iOS devices?
I think there's a definite set of people who are finding that the Safari browser, while nice, is not doing everything they want, and they're looking for a different, experience.
Yeah.
So
people have laptops that come with browsers that are baked into the OS. And they download browsers all the time, right?
So I like the choice. I mean, originally with the iOS, I think on the iPhone they wouldn't even allow another. Browser. Now they've allowed Opera Mini.
Well, Opera was the first, from what I remember.
Yep.
And I didn't like it when it came out.
No, it wasn't very good.
It was kind of crappy.
So anyway, this is called Diego, whatever.
Digo. Let's go with Digo.
Digo, Diigo. It is a browser. So what does it make it different than Safari?
Well, I see the Google Wave on the browser.
See, I was going to work it into the show with just that. But it's got tabs. Okay, nice.
Tabs are cool.
It's got...
tabs are coming in iOS 5, but that's cool.
Yep. So it's got a nice tabbed interface. You can add tabs. It
looks like Google Chrome.
It is a variant. Apparently, again, I don't know if it's how much of it's Chrome, but it's supposed to be a variant of Google Chrome. I'm very interested why Google hasn't come out with a Chrome browser for the iPad.
I have no idea.
It makes no sense.
Is the looking at an Android phone? Is the Android phone browser a Chrome browser?
No, it's a WebKit browser.
And I'm getting a head nod. No. So they don't even have a mobile browser for their own OS.
That just seems strange because you think because here's what I like about it, and here's what's missing from it. So you got tabs.
Tabs are cool.
You got to read it later. So you can be on a tab, and if it's like one of those, you can be on an article, and you can type the little read it later button.
Nice.
And it'll put it into your reading list.
Oh, there you go.
And then you have a little
just
reading
like
list.
the new Safari.
Right? Yes, like the new Safari.
All right.
Although it's out, so maybe it's a way to check it out first. What the nice thing is, under settings, you can say, I want this browser. Tell the rest of the world that this browser is something else.
Ooh.
So you can say, I want it to be iPad Safari Mobile, Mac OS 10 Safari 5.
I don't know why I just oohed that. It's really not a big deal.
But it is because some
render this differently?
It's basically telling the server that you're one of these.
Right. So if I say I'm OS 10 Safari 5, will it render Flash?
No, because Flash has nothing to do with it. It's not a Flash thing.
So
what's
the point?
Well, as we were looking at with Google Wave, if you go to Google Wave as iPad Safari browser, it renders different.
So it renders the mobile version of the website versus the standard.
So this is almost a way of fighting the mobile version. So you can say, so I can be sitting on the Google Wave, but it renders it like it would on Chrome.
Does it work?
I know you're really interested in Google Wave. No one else in the world is because it's dying. But yes, it really works. It doesn't work full, but it works much better than it does on the Safari.
That's cool. That's reason enough for me to download it.
Yeah, it's $300.
No, stop.
I was about to say, you don't even know how much it is.
It's got to be free, yeah?
Yeah, it is free. And I think it's a good proof of concept.
How does Salesforce work on it?
Haven't tried Salesforce.
How about Google Docs?
Google Docs will work just like the regular. Google Docs in a browser works great. I'm
just wondering,
browser. I haven't tried that.
Okay.
I tried a couple websites. I was really trying Wave because it's now my new go-to Wave reader. And what it doesn't have is it doesn't sync with Google Chrome like all Chrome browsers have syncing now, that they can pull down bookmarks and stuff like that. That would be great because then it has this start screen with all your recent viewed, which most browsers are doing now. But anyway, it's a nice little proof of concept. I'm not sure. again, when Safari 5 comes out, or Safari for iOS, or the new iOS 5 come out with Safari, I think we're gonna get all those features. Maybe not the ability to hide who we are, as a browser, but I think it's a nice little proof of concept, and it's got some.
I'm looking over your shoulder, and I really like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
it looks
hides
like a
the
nice
bar
browser
when you go up. Yeah, now I don't know if it's just the Wave or other things. It's not the fastest browser I've ever been on in my life, and I feel
that's a slow website you're looking at.
No, I've been to other browsers. I've been to other websites.
That's a little inside.
In fact, this is loading pretty
That's actually loading fast for that website.
Yeah, that's loading pretty fast for this website.
How does ArkusInc.com look on that website?
Let's try it out.
Or twitter.com/ArkusInc.
Wow, you're just going to wrap up the whole thing right in the...
I'm wrapping it up this way. You did .con. That's not going to work.
Well, there you go. It has but you see, interesting how Google
Look at
renders...
that. It's the first result.
Oh, there you go. You notice how it renders Google, not
Google
for...
Not Google.
Yeah.
Wow, that is kind of a fast browser, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I think.
Yeah, it's representing, search stuff.
It's
a good little thing. And again, it's got fire. It's got, you can render up everything. It does a pretty good job.
I think that's pretty fast. I got to be honest.
Oh, well, maybe it's just that I was in Google Wave, which is pretty hefty and
Wave is slow.
So anyway, that's it. It's called Digo. It is available for the iPad. It is free. Check it out. Try it out. Also, just nice. I'll tell you another use case for it.
Tell me.
If you have multiple Google accounts, like you have your Google Plus, and let's say at work you use Google Apps, and at home you use you have a Gmail account, and one you have your Google Plus on. It's nice to have two browsers, so you don't have to constantly be logging in and out. On your desktop you can easily have two browsers, but on the iPad it's been difficult. So this is a nice use it for another browser.
Yeah.
So anyway, nice little browser. Give it a shot, and that's it. So again, if you want to read the blog post about this or see any of the other past articles or all of our stuff, we will be doing a much more Dreamforce related stuff coming up. In fact, the next 3 blog posts will probably be just Dreamforce. In fact, I think there'll be a reasons to attend one. There'll probably be a predictions one. In fact, one of our podcasts
there'll definitely be a predictions one.
And including one of ours.
I gotta start thinking about that.
I have some predictions already.
Do
you want
you?
to make one right now?
No.
Okay.
Save
so
it.
There'll be...
Teaser!
We'll do a podcast just about predictions right before. So all that stuff's coming up.
Yep.
So you want to go to blog.arkusinc.com and subscribe to RSS. If you want to just check up on what we're doing, we're at twitter.com/ArkusInc. I'm at twitter.com/Jason M. Atwood. Justin here is at twitter.com/JustEdelstein. If you want to hear all his incredible Force.com
I'm the best.
All his Force.com lab picks. And we're on Facebook, so if you don't mind following a non-entity, although we are real people behind it, facebook.com/ArkusInc, or if you want to do a part of the contest. But the podcast, obviously the best is... the best way to subscribe to it is through iTunes. Go to iTunes, type in CloudFocus Weekly, and hit subscribe. Leave a review there. That'd be great. 5-star and above. I don't think they even allow you to do anything less than 5 stars, do they?
Not on our podcast.
No, it's locked down. We had that.
Locked.
We had that done.
Yeah, we wrote.
Love to see new reviews.
Wrote
and
a validation rule.
If you leave a nice review, I'm making up new rules as we go along. If you leave a nice review, and do the rest, and as part of the podcast, and as part of the T-shirt contest, you might get one of us to sign your T-shirt, if that means anything, because it's actually going to mean nothing. But we will sign it. We'll sign your T-shirt, because that's how much we want reviews up on the iTunes. All right, so that kicks it off. The last moment here. Until next week, until we get really deep into our countdown to Dreamforce, enjoy those cloudy days.
Nice.